Life moves fast, don't let it slip. Slow it down, take a breath, don't trip. Real talk, real vibes, we're breaking it down. No overthinking, just solid ground. Let go of the stress, let go of the noise. This is the space for your inner voice. Breathe in deep, let the moment show. You're right here and you're good to go. Don't overthink it, let it flow. Take it easy, take it slow. Real talk, real life, that's the goal. Welcome to the place where we keep it whole.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Don't Overthink It podcast. I am your host, Donny, and beside me is Irish, as always. And today we're going to touch on a couple of different topics. First one going to be, what causes you frustrations, and then after that what do you do to handle your frustrations? And we're going to go on from there. So sit tight and enjoy the ride.
What's up, Donnie, man? It's good to be back, dude.
Yeah, it's good to have you back, Irish. It's kind of hard to do it without you. Having a conversation with yourself is an interesting thing.
Yeah, I can imagine it's probably kind of awkward a little bit. Yeah.
It's hard to talking to yourself, but not actually talking to yourself. So the people who do this as solos, I have a lot of respect for, because they can do it, without any kind of hesitation or have to stop and think about it. It's just something that they do naturally. But yeah, it's good having you back.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that, you don't see the unedited versions. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of retakes and everything with them too, bro. It's only natural.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, some of it's probably, I'd have to say, probably 2 out of 6 is natural. It comes natural to them. Other than that, it's nerves.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's just a more, human experience having somebody else to communicate with back and forth instead of you just, carrying on a conversation solo.
Yeah. Well,
even though I am guilty of talking to myself frequently, bro. In my mind, I'm just especially if I'm focused on something, dude, I'll start having conversations in my head.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's kind of like streaming live. You stream live games on Call of Duty. You sit there and you talk to your chat. Even you may have 1 or 2 people in your chat. You might not even have anybody in your chat. Some people don't have anyone, and it's just kind of keeping yourself entertained while keeping other people entertained who aren't really there. I guess that's some way to say it.
Yeah, and I mean, from that aspect of it or whatever, for me anyway, the longer I've done it, the more I just try to put it out of my head. I try to have a mindset that I'm not streaming to really not focus about the number on who's in here watching and who isn't. I just kind of do my thing. And if somebody, I have a screen beside me that pops up as somebody chats, and then I try to respond back to everybody, So I just try not to think about it, dude, because I feel like the more you think about it, you psych yourself out.
I think that's my biggest problem is I tend to psych myself out. I tend to overthink things.
Yeah.
Even in tests, when I take tests, I would just get inside my own head thinking, this is wrong, that's wrong, and things like that.
Well, you need to listen to the name of the podcast, brother, and don't overthink
it. Honestly, that's kind of where I got it from. My wife tells me a lot. She's like, you're always overthinking everything. You got that whole overthinking mindset. So
it's easy, but it's easy. It's easy to have that mindset, and not easy to not have that mindset. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, for somebody who doesn't have that type of mindset, can easily say, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't, But when you're in that type of mindset, it's hard to get out of that type, bro. I was stuck in that for a long time throughout my life, where I would overanalyze every single little thing, dude, and it'll drive you crazy, bro, if you do it, on the wrong things, at least.
I overanalyze. I always overthink a lot of things, and it's just the way I was built, in some aspects.
Okay, so let's lead up into the first topic. Now that we're on this subject kind of already, what's something that frustrates you to the point where you begin to fall into those traps of overthinking and overanalyzing things, and then what do you do to try to pull yourself back out of it?
So, like, it frustrates. So, something frustrates me that gets me on edge and frustrates me is probably being in a crowded area.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just being in a crowded area, first of all, it brings anxiety, and once I start feeling anxious, it just kind of like leads into frustration because I have nowhere to go, I have nothing to do, and I'm sitting there constantly looking over my shoulder, constantly looking in front of me, just checking to see if everything's all right. There's this one time we walked into Walmart, we were grocery shopping. And we were going down the bread aisle, and as we were going down the bread aisle, I stopped and I was sitting there looking around, and I started feeling anxious. And I walked to the end of the aisle, and I got out of the aisle, and like this whole feeling of anxiety just overtook my body, and I just could not control it. And to where I started getting frustrated because I didn't know how to manage it and to reground myself and stuff like that. But after learning different techniques and stuff, it just kind of, when I get into those situations, I just start referring back to my grounding techniques and trying to, stabilize myself so I don't have those feelings of anxiety come up on me.
Yeah, I mean, I've had anxiety on different topics, throughout my life or whatever, but it's never really been a huge major factor for me. I think mainly because I started working in like retail, when I was a teenager, and just got comfortable being around people and talking to people, strangers and stuff like that. Even to this day, dude, like you said, go to Walmart to go grocery shopping, and I can have my kids with me. If I make eye contact with somebody, I just automatically speak to that person. Hey, how are you? Or hey, have a good day, or whatever. My kids are like, do you know them? I don't know who they are. Why were you talking to them? I'm like, it's just a polite thing to do. But there are other, areas where I can feel anxiety take over, and that's like, like you said, in a crowded room of a place. If I'm uncomfortable and don't know the surroundings, don't know the people, that can be a little overwhelming sometimes. To where I'll start to feel anxious and start trying to find like exits, ways to get out of going or get out of there type of stuff. But you just can't let that stuff win, dude.
I think one of letting it win, for me personally, I don't know how you feel about it. If you let anxiety win, it tends to become frustrating, and a lot of people get stressed out, and stress causes frustration, and next thing you know, they're doing things that can possibly get them hurt or other people hurt. So,
oh yeah, for sure.
I think being able to control that anxiety and that frustration is a really good key to keeping yourself stable. Finding good grounding techniques is another thing. But yeah, I found one that's really good for me. So.
I mean, I don't know for you, but for me, this is my story. Okay, I was pretty much, just a mellow, laid back dude. I think I've been that way all my life, but I did have a habit of overanalyzing things, like I said earlier, and it would lead to this downward spiral or whatever, to where you kind of like self-isolate or self-sabotage, everything around you. It can lead into a dark place. Well, then, in 2020, I got diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer, dude. Scared the shit out of me. Sorry, pardon my French, but scared me. And, when you hear that word, you just automatically think, oh my God, I'm going to die, dude. So here I am, 30, I think I was 37 at the time. Get this news, freak out. Start going to chemo, and then I think my first visit to chemo, I had this older lady, probably in her 70s maybe. Her name was Miss Dottie, who I guess could tell it was written all over my face that, I'm terrified. So she just came over and just started talking to me, and every single day that I went, she would just come over and start talking to me, and it would just kind of like put me at peace or whatever. And then, you know, the more I talked to her, I got to know her story. And this woman, I mean, it still kind of chokes me up now, dude. This woman had terminal cancer to where there was no cure. She knew she was dying. But her attitude and outlook on everything, you would have never guessed it, dude. She was the happiest, most uplifting person I've ever met in my life. So I'd say probably like 3 weeks to maybe a month of me going into chemo. One day, Miss Dottie wasn't there. And I'm like, what in the world? Where's Miss Dottie? And, you know, one of the nurses told me that she had passed away last night, dude. Destroyed me, bro. Kind of broke me down. I was like, man, I can't do this anymore, dude. And then the stuff that happened in my personal life on top of it just, bro, put me in the bottom. I was literally to the point where I wanted to just give up and just let cancer take me out, dude. And then my kids talked to me and was like, you know, you got to fight this and whatever. So I got myself up. I continued fighting it. I beat it. And then having gone through that, I have a whole different aspect of life in general. I don't think I've ever been a bad person, but I've, you know, could have done a lot of things better to where now I feel like I had a second chance to where, you know, I appreciate everything, you know, all the small things that I used to just take for granted. I don't let slip by anymore. So that all that anxiety and overanalyzing and all that stuff, that all kind of died when I went through that experience, dude. That's how I got out of it.
Yeah, that sounds pretty rough, having somebody like that who was pretty much a influence or a mentor to you on that, just kind of checked up on you. So losing them and not knowing about it like that. So, you know, that's kind of rough.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was surreal, dude. To be a complete stranger, you know, to never have met this woman before in my life, for her to just do all the things that she did for me in that short little amount of time, knowing, you know, the whole time that her, you know, end was coming just right around the corner. I mean, it was just, and then, like I said, I don't want to go into too much personal details, but the stuff that was going on in my personal life at the time on top of that, dude, it was just, bro, I was in a rough spot.
Mine's kind of different a little bit. Mine's a lot different, actually. Mine started when I was back in high school. Graduated high school, and what causes me anxiety is what they call, well, I was broken down, and then I was built back up into what somebody wanted me to be. So that's what I did, and I did that ever since I was 18 years old, and doing that for almost half your life. I mean, I'm 36 right now. I retired from there about 6-7 years ago, almost 8 years ago. So, you know, spending those first, you know, almost 10-12 years of your life working in that type of field and environment, just they break you down, they build you up to what they want, and then you live your life day to day in that kind of environment. Makes it rough, and that's where I get a lot of my anxiety and the stuff that I deal with a lot daily. That's where I get it from. After doing it for so long, it becomes second nature. And some of the people that retired from that field ask me, like, how do you live with yourself, knowing that you were brought up and you're built this way, and then now you have to, you know, completely switch, and like, oh well, you get over it, you know. And there's things that you do to become civilized again. And it's like, well, I can't do that. I'm struggling to do that. I'm having trouble doing it. And that's where I found the coping skills and the grounding techniques to be able to handle those types of situations. And not everybody understands it. Like, when I'm with my buddies and I'm talking on the phone, you know, I have a dark humor. You know, some people say, oh, you're laughing in a serious situation. Yeah, that's how we deal with our stress and our situation that we're in. And a lot of people don't do it. Somebody's driving by and they see us joking on the side of the road or something, and they're like, well, these people were joking and having fun on this serious scene. Yeah, we do that because that's how we handle our stuff. That's how we handle it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that, and that's and then doing that for so many years, it just kind of makes it tough to get out of, and I'm trying to do everything I can to become what they would call, I guess, civilized again, humanized. Becoming humanized again is like, that's a hard thing to do. I mean, I don't go into restaurants. If I do go into a restaurant, I sit there with my back against the wall. I make sure I can see both exits. I can make sure I see who's coming in, who's not. Someone comes walking by, like that person has a weapon on them. Look at the way their pants are. Look at the way they're standing, how they're slouched. That person has this type of weapon. I could be wrong about it half the time, but once you do it for so long and you start learning how to read people like that, it definitely becomes second nature. Because that's the first thing I look for when someone comes walking through a door that I don't know. Is I'll take a look at them, and just by the outline of their body, I'm like, okay, so that guy's carrying. It's on his right hip, or the way his shirt's tucked in the back, or the way it's wrapped around him. He's got something on the back side of him, or something like that. And I'll just continue watching him. It's just, like I said, the first you do it. I did it since I was a kid, and they broke me down, built me back up into what they wanted me to be. That's what I'm used to. Being in those crowded areas is from being in that type of situation.
And I can imagine that's probably frustrating, dude. I mean, because I'm guilty of doing that too, where I go into a public place or whatever, and I start trying to like scope my surroundings, and okay, if some stuff pops off or whatever, that guy right there might give me a little problem, but type stuff or whatever. And I'd like to know my exits and all that stuff, just in case something does happen. I know the layout. So I mean, but my way of doing it and your way of doing it are two different things. I can understand where you're coming from, how that could be traumatic considering some of the things you've had to witness and go through in the past, versus the way I did it was just as being, I was doing it as to be aware, not necessarily as like a threat or anything like that.
Yeah. And like if I do go in somewhere public, I've got some type of concealed weapon on me, whether it's a knife in my pocket or my firearm that I carry. One of the two. There's always something in there that I carry just in case something like that happens, because you never know these days.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely, dude. I mean, we talked about this before. We talked about this before in the past about how, when we were coming up, it was way different than how it is today. Because I remember back when I came up, dude, if you had a problem with somebody, you fought. You get in the yard, you fight it out, and that was about the end of it. You can't really do that anymore these days, dude. I mean, nowadays people want to shoot you and stab you, and I mean, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, no, it's not like that. I wish it was, but it's not like that. I mean, back in my day, we used to go to the bathroom in the school and be like, hey, you have an issue, let's settle it. You go in there, do your thing in there, and then it's settled after that.
I mean, I remember
or
as
even
a kid, dude, my brother and this other guy that lived around the corner from us literally fought every day. Like every single day they would fight. But then later, like maybe 2 hours later, we were all playing basketball together. I mean, but it happened every day.
That could be a grounding skill. I mean, it's pretty violent, but maybe they just need to get their frustrations out for the day, and your brother was the first one that he saw, or
no, they would just try to antagonize each other and ride each other, and eventually one of them got mad and swung. The next thing you know, they're fighting, and then a couple hours later, everything's cool. And then the next day, it starts all over again.
A love-hate relationship.
Oh yeah,
they hate
definitely. Each other. Definitely do.
Yeah, I can see where anxiety leads on to frustration. Frustration leads one thing to another. Stuff like that. It's just kind of.
I mean, are you guilty of like bottling up all your emotions and stuff like that that's bothering you and holding it in, or do you express yourself like immediately?
I bottle it up.
Yeah, that's not healthy, bro. That's not healthy.
Yeah, no, like last night, I was upset last night, and I was mostly mad at myself. But I was like building a fire last night, and I think I told you guys this a little bit earlier. But I was building a fire, and as I was putting wood in, usually the heat from the flame will, you can feel it on the back of your hand. I didn't feel any of that. I was putting it in there, and the flame was nearly touching my hand. And I was like, I don't feel any of this. I don't feel it at all. I was so worked up and so upset that I didn't even feel it. And that kind of, I was like, and then once I realized that was happening, I was like, you know what? I need to go back. I need to ground myself. I need to, get back on the human level, because at that point, if I'm not feeling any of that kind of pain or anything, what's going to happen next? Something's going to happen, and it's just going to be 10 times worse. So I end up stepping away, just kind of putting my head back and breathing and letting everything work out on its own. And I was able to snap out of it. I grounded myself. I was able to realize what I was doing was not good. So
yeah, well, I mean, at least you're able to do that, dude. There's some people that can't control that type of stuff. So at least you have like a technique that you can do. And first of all, I should say, at least you can, realize that there's something off, to where then you need to go and, ground yourself. Like me, before in my past, I was guilty of just like, if I saw something that bothered me or whatever, I would just kind of bury it under the rug, just push it in, until eventually, my bottle was filled and I would blow up, and then refill it and blow up, and refill it and blow up. And then eventually I just got to a point where I'm like, dude, from now on, if something gets to me, or if I see something I don't like, or if you do something to me that I don't like or whatever, I'm letting you have it immediately. And I've been that way for the last probably 10 years.
yeah, I think that's where Call of Duty comes in, because it's not real. I mean, Call of Duty is not real. It's just a game.
Yeah.
When I get frustrated, I'll hop on and I'll just take my frustrations out in the game, and it'll soothe me and relax me, and it'll ground me and bring me back to reality. A lot of people say that's not healthy. Some people say it is. Some people,
I mean,
there's a clinical therapist that I was talking to a couple of weeks ago. She was like, that's completely normal for people who have your kind of background to go and find comfort in that kind of type of situation, because that's what you're used to. You're used to that fight or flight syndrome, and you're not gonna flee. You're gonna sit there and fight, and that's where it comes in, and you let your frustration out with it. Instead of running from it and hiding it and bottling it up, you're sitting there facing that frustration, and you're using that as an alternative route to get all of it out. So in a way, yes, it's bad. In a way, yes, it's good, because you're not taking it out on anybody personally, but it's more of a passive way to get it out.
Right. It's more of a, safer and, way of doing it. But, I look at it like from this point of view that, anything, it really doesn't matter what it is, in large quantities can probably be unhealthy for you. So, people that sit here and say, oh, you're a gamer, that leads to nowhere. That's an unhealthy habit or whatever like that. And, it's like we talked about before. I mean, there's people out there who told you you're wasting your time playing video games. And now there's people out there that get paid tons of money to play video games. I mean, to say something is a waste of time just because you don't enjoy it or you don't get it, I'll never agree with.
Yeah. Another way would be like the gun range. I used to go shooting a lot. I don't do it anymore now, because I got Call of Duty. Why waste money on? Well, not waste the money, but why actual rounds when you can, go to Call of Duty and throw rounds down range or something. It's the same thing. But the power from holding something like that as it's firing off those rounds, it's just a calming feeling. Like after you've let down 17 rounds down range, it's just calming and relaxing. To me, it is. I don't know about anybody else, but I think it's fun and just be chilling. I mean, I'm like, I'm good. My therapy session's over. I'll put 17 rounds out and I'm good.
Yeah, I think it's fun to do, and I think it's it's wise to do for anybody that has a firearm. You should try, probably go to ranges, just to keep your reaction time and handling and all that stuff like that, tip top, because you never know when it might come in handy to use it. Hopefully, never
Absolutely.
has, hopefully you never have to, but if you do, you don't want to be rusty.
Oh no, when you do have to use it, those are some scary situations.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, luckily, knock on wood,
Scary
I've never had
situations.
to use mine in that way. But if I ever do, I feel like I've stay pretty, pretty good at going to the range on a regular basis. I'll probably, me and a buddy of mine, we'll get together probably 2 to 3 times a month and go. Probably, let out 50 rounds a piece and then leave.
I need to get back out there and do that.
It's fun, dude. Like you said, I find it relaxing.
Months.
I find it relaxing too.
Yeah.
And it's challenging, really. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's challenging to see if you can, stay on mark and stuff like that.
So, I got a question for you, Irish.
All right.
Do you have any kind of casual advice for our listeners? Just anything, just about anything.
I mean, I think I said this before. I don't know, maybe not, but I had a teacher one time to tell me, if you know something ain't true, because me and this other kid got into a fight because he had said something about my mom and it pissed me off or whatever, to where we got into a fight. So she came to me and she was like, well, is she? And I'm like, what? She's like, is she whatever he called your mom? Is she that? And I'm like, no. She's like, okay, so then don't let it bother you. And I don't know what it was about it, but it just stuck with me to where now, dude, you can almost kind of say whatever you want, and it has no effect on me at all. It's more of the physical. So, yeah. So I guess in layman's terms is, dude, who cares what people think about you? Who cares what people got to say about you? There's always going to be somebody that does have an opinion that, is not nice or something. That's just the way it is in life. But it's up to you to not let that stuff get to you. If you know whatever they're saying about you isn't true, and it's just them talking, that smack or whatever, then just let it roll off, dude. There's no point to let it destroy who you are. Because I used to have a habit of that, dude. If you said something to me out of the way, bro, it was, let's get down. We're fighting. And then when that teacher told me that, I don't know why, it just stuck with me. So we're now, I don't really care, dude. It doesn't bother me.
Oh yeah. I mean, like little things bother you. I mean, and that's just, rumors are rumor. It's just, it is what it is. Don't let anything bother you.
I mean, especially in today's time, dude, with the internet, where, people you don't even know, never met before, may not even be real, or, just bashing you for who knows why. And some people let that really destroy them, dude. And I can't understand why anybody lets that get to them, because, I mean, I guess I'm just, I've had enough time to where I've come to terms with, I don't let that stuff bother me anymore. So, I mean, I guess now when I see where people that does let it bother them, I'm like, why, dude? Why? I don't get it. But, I was them too at one point. So, I mean, I can't say I don't get it because I've been there. But for whatever reason, it doesn't affect me anymore. If you come put your hands on me or somebody that I care about, then that's completely different. But you can say whatever you want. It has no effect on me at all.
So that kind of, what you said earlier, kind of reminds me of about letting things affect you. We play Call of Duty. We play DMZ. We mentioned this guy earlier. He doesn't let anything like that get to him. They have the one-shot shotguns. They have the RGLs, and the streamer, he's just chill about it. I mean, he gets shot. He's like, you get taken down by a shotgun, and he'll just hit a good game. He's just casual about it. He doesn't let it get to him. Other people are, rage quitting and throwing their controllers across the room and just getting upset about it. And he's just like, good game, you're good, you're talented, you're a professional. I mean, having that kind of mindset and being relaxed is amazing, especially because I get frustrated. Like, oh, that's not going to get him. RGL, you got no talent, whatever.
But I feel like he looks at it from almost exactly the same way that what I just said. It's just, where when people say something to me, I don't let it affect me because I know it's not true. Well, in his case, or in our case, anybody that plays the video game with a one-shot shotgun, what can you do about it? There's nothing you can do about it. So why let it, destroy your attitude and your, just go to the next game. I mean, like me, every once in a while, I'll be like, man, stupid one-shot shotgun, dude. But I don't let it get to me to the point where I'm like ready to just start breaking things or quit the game or all that stuff like that. Yeah, it gets frustrating because, it takes the fun out of the game. But I don't really care, dude. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah. I was watching one streamer who did that, who got really upset. I mean, you would say something, the smallest thing, and he would flip out. I mean, he would go crazy. He'd start yelling at you through the comms, and he started bashing you. And I was like, I can't watch this guy no more. I gotta turn him off and go do something else because this guy's frustrating me just by the way he's treating his audience.
Yeah, I had a guy like that I used to watch too, man. He could talk all the junk and crap that he wanted to you, but the moment you said something in his chat, he wants to ban you or time you out and all that type of stuff. So, screw that dude, bro. People like that, they don't deserve a platform, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it's pretty frustrating when they do that because it's like it's just a game. Why are you getting so upset like that over a game? But it's in the past. We've all grown up since then, and now we're trying to hopefully be better humans. Irish, did you have a quote for us today, or?
No, well, let's talk about one more topic real quick. We can make it a little, short and sweet because I know time's getting tight. But, we got Christmas right around the corner. I want to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas, brother. I hope everything goes well. Hope y'all have a lovely time. And everybody listening, I want to wish you all happy holidays, Merry Christmas, however you celebrate. I don't want to offend anybody. But, hopefully everybody has a wonderful holiday. And if we don't see you again, I hope you have a happy New Year's. Stay safe, everybody. Enjoy your family and your friends.
Yeah, I'd like to reiterate that, happy holidays to all you guys out there who don't know how you celebrate your holiday seasons, but hope you have fun. Hope you travel safely if you're traveling. Enjoy the time with your family. I know I'm talking to one streamer, and he told me that he's going to be able to get 2 weeks off for this coming holiday, which is good. He's been on the road for a while, I guess, and he's like, I'll be home in 3 days, so safe travels to him when he's out there, and then hopefully he enjoys the time with his family when he gets home. So, happy holidays to you guys. Did you have a quote for us today, Irish?
No, I'll just leave it at that, dude. I mean, I just want to, try to end it on a little positive note because we got a little deep for a second.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll end it there. Letting you listeners know we got a really big surprise coming up. The second week of January, we're going to be starting off our podcast with a couple of guests. They're not new to the DMZ community. They've been around a while, but stay tuned for that episode when it comes out.
Yeah, I think that one's going to be a little excited, bro.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. Yeah. I love watching them play. They get on early in the morning and they play in the morning. So it's good watching them play. They're a really good team and
high energy too. High energy.
High energy. Yes, they are high energy and really good players of the game. And that'll be out the second week of January. So stick around for that episode coming out. So as always, be safe. Take care. Don't overthink it. Have a good night,
everyone.
As we wrap it up, let's keep it real. Another chapter close, another chance to heal. The journey's just starting, got miles to go. And every step we're taking is part of the show. Whether it's highs or lows, the laughs or pain, we're all just learning to dance in the rain. But this ain't goodbye, it's a see you soon. Together we're chasing that next tune. So don't overthink it, just let it flow. Life's a wild ride, we're all here to grow. Keep coming back, there's so much to see. Together we're stronger, just wait and see. Every story shared, every lesson learned builds a fire in us, keeps that passion burned. We're here to lift, to laugh, to inspire. And in each episode, we take it higher. You got dreams to chase, mountains to climb. So here's your reminder, you're right on time. Whatever life throws, just keep moving on. You're never alone, together we're strong. So breathe in deep, feel the fire inside. You're not just watching this life, you're along for the ride. When doubts creep in, remember this sound. It's all part of the journey, don't let it bring you down. Don't overthink it, let it all flow. Step by step, that's how we grow. Keep coming back, cause there's more to find. Together we're building that state of mind.